Let's get started. I'll do that in a sec. Good morning. Thanks for coming to join me today. I am really looking forward to this day. The sun is shining and like it hasn't been in the mornings in a long time. And I'd like to just make some sun salutations today. We'll just run through a bunch of them and maybe make some variations on them as we move through them and get warmed up. But to begin, let's become seated on the mat. And please remember, if sitting cross-legged like this isn't comfortable for you, find something that does feel good for you, some kind of seated pose. If you're on your knees or sitting up on something, or even in a chair for this first few moments is all good. What's important is that you can lengthen up through your spine and roll your shoulders back and down. Be balanced evenly across both sits bones and just shut your eyes. Turn your attention inward so that you can connect with your own rhythms for this day. The rhythms of your body, your breath, your mind. And as you sit here, bring your attention to the base of your spine and just begin to crawl your attention up your spine towards the crown of your head. And as you go, move slowly. And as you go, look for any areas in your spine that might be experiencing some compression or are overly rounded. And then if you find that, just rise up out of it, lengthen up out of that compression or that rounding. So that right away we notice that the breath moves a little more freely through the body. This tall posture invites energy, more energetic posture. Just 2 more cycles of breath here. And then you can softly open your eyes. Let's just reach the fingertips up and out. So it's like a big Y. Hands, fingers are spread wide. And then as you exhale, give yourself a big hug. Put your one arm over the top and reach for opposite shoulder blades. Let's inhale to open again. And exhale with the other arm on top. Give yourself a hug. Inhale to open. As we exhale, let's twist to the right with the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. Roll the right shoulder back and keep your sits bones planted evenly into the mat. Inhale to come up and exhale to the other side. Just twisting the spine, keeping that long, straight spine as you roll the left shoulder back. You can even bring your chin over to the left shoulder. Inhale to open. And as we exhale, let's come to a tabletop pose, bringing the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders. And you guys are probably guessing by now, a couple of rounds of cat-cow is like my favorite thing to do in the morning. So let's turn the tailbone up, drop the belly, bring the heart forward and the crown of the head back. Up and back. Exhale to turn it around. Tailbones down. Pull the navel up and away from the floor, round the shoulders, drop the chin. Inhale to open the front of the body. Exhale to curl in and squeeze down through the front of the body. As we inhale now, come to a neutral spine. Curl your toes under and exhale to lift the knees 2 inches up off the mat. Breathing easy here. Lengthening the spine, pulling the low belly in. Another big breath in. And then as we exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Here in our first down dog, you can pedal your feet, swing your hips, move around whatever way feels good for you. Shake your head out. And then when you've had enough of that, just let your heels settle back down towards the back of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. And let's just draw our attention up from our feet, up the backs of the legs, opening up the backs of the legs. Turn the sits bones up and out. And then lengthen through the spine. Let your head drop heavy. Hands full circumference of the palm, pressing into the mat. Let's inhale up high on the toes, bend the knees, shoulders over the wrists, and step your feet forward to the front of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Look for a nice flat back here, nice and long. You're gazing straight down at the mat. Fingertips are on the shins. As you exhale, pull the navel in and around the spine, bringing the crown of the head towards the floor now, and you're gazing back between your knees. Let's try that again. Inhale to a halfway lift. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhaling now, soften the knees. Keep your eyes, your gaze on your big toes, and roll all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. As you exhale, you can bring your hands to heart center and forward fold right away, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in the spine here. As you exhale, soften the knees. Bring your hands to the mat. Intentionally place them down so you can put pressure in your fingertips as well as your palms. And step your right foot, then your left foot back to a high plank pose. Now you can feel free to come down onto your knees here or stay on your toes. Tailbone is turned down, the spine is long, and the hips are about as high as the shoulders. Feet are hip width apart. Pulling the collarbones forward and the heels back. Big breath in here. Bring your shoulders forward over your fingertips. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down to the mat and aim to have your thighs and your tummy come down at the same time. Thighs, tummy, chest. Now inhale, pull the elbows back towards the back of the mat and lift the heart. Exhale to release. Inhale, table or plank on your knees or on your toes. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale here, come up high on your toes, shoulders forward. And then step forward with the opposite foot first, coming to the front of the mat, halfway lift. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees and rise all the way up to stand. Hands up. You can look up at your thumbs if that feels good for you. And then exhale, let's forward fold all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift, finding length here. As you exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands, and step your opposite foot back first. And then the other one to a high plank pose. Here in our high plank pose, let's turn the tailbone down, find length in the spine. Big breath in, bring the shoulders forward, and exhale to lower all the way to the mat. Try and hold your plank all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to release. Inhale, table or plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's let the right heel float. As you exhale, draw the knee in towards your nose, squeeze it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale to extend. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend that right foot out to the side. Exhale, bend it back into center. And inhale, right heel to the sky. Exhale, right foot down next to the left. And inhale, extend the left heel. Try and keep your hips even here. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose. So we're rounding the spine like an angry cat. Pulling the knee in. Inhale to extend. Move slowly through these movements. Left knee to left elbow, or higher than the elbow if you can. Inhale to extend. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend the left foot out to the right. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes, shoulders over the wrists. And as you exhale, you can walk, step, or jump your feet to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees, rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, reach the crown of the head forward. As you exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands, and bring your feet to the back of the mat. So you can step back, walk back, or you can soften your elbows and jump back. Inhale to straighten the elbows, come up high to a high plank pose. Tailbones turn down. You're really strong through the core here. Bring the right hand in a little bit so it's right underneath the shoulder. We're going to roll to a side plank on the right side. So roll to the pinky toe side of your right foot, the inner side of the inner arch of your left foot. Left fingertips can stay on the mat here. If you need another variation, you can bring your right knee down onto the mat. Otherwise, left fingertips can come to your hip. You can reach the left hand up to the ceiling. Bring your gaze where it feels good. Down at the floor is going to give you some help with balance. Up at the ceiling is going to be a little more challenging. You can stack your left foot over your right or lift the right foot. Up to you, depending on how warmed up you feel right now. One more big breath in. And then exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat. Preparing for plank on the other side, come onto your right hand, bring your weight into your left side. Roll to the left, outside edge of the left foot, inside edge of the right foot. Same variations. Can have a twist with the right fingertips down on the mat, or at the hip, or at the ceiling. Feet can stay staggered. Or you can bring the right foot to balance over the left. You can even lift that right foot. Up to you. Right foot down if you've lifted it. Right hand down. As we inhale, bring the shoulders forward. And exhale, bend the elbows back towards the back of the mat. Give the ribs a little squeeze when you're halfway down. Stay here or lower to the floor. Next inhale, bring your heart forward, cobra or up dog. And then as you exhale, pull the low ribs in, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Big breath in here. As you exhale, Make your way forward to the front of the mat. You can walk, step, or jump, whatever feels good for you. Coming into a halfway lift. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees. Rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bringing your feet to the width of the mat here. Toes are off the mat, heels are on the mat. Let's inhale the fingertips up one more time. And as you exhale, bend the knees, send your knees out over the toes, coming to a low yogi squat. Hips are heavy and sinking towards the floor, and your spine is long. Elbows inside the knees, hands at heart center, and really reach the crown up. Big breath in here. Can always take variations on this pose as well. Sit on a block or bring your fingertips to the mat. Here, I want to take, before we come down onto our seat, you can stay like this, or I just want to take a simple twist. Right fingertips can come to the mat just in front of your right foot, and left hand can reach up towards the ceiling. Oh, a nice twist in the spine. Keep your hips heavy here. Coming back to center. Left fingertips down to the mat, reaching the right fingertips. Nice. Twist in the spine. Keep your hips heavy, the spine long. Hands back to heart center. And from here, you can use your fingertips on the mat, or maybe reaching forward to come all the way down onto your seat. Maybe slide your feet to a butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet are together, knees are wide. Give your feet a little lovin'. It's first thing in the morning. They've got a long day ahead of them, so maybe give your feet a little massage by just rubbing your thumbs firmly from the balls of your toes towards your heel. If there's somewhere along the way there you're feeling a lot of, like a burst of sensation, try and hang there and just give it a little circles with your thumbs, because that feels good. And then one more big breath in when you've had enough of that. Lengthen up through the spine, and then exhale, hinge forward at the hips, round down. Tuck the chin. Elbows on the inside of your legs can widen them open a little bit more. And then inhale to come up. Hands or neck on the outside of the knees to draw them up to center. We're going to come down onto our backs here. You can use your hands to support yourself or reach them forward. Tuck the chin. Press your big toes actively down into the mat as you lower yourself. Reach forward with the hands to help you control your rate of coming down. Tuck the shoulder blades in underneath one another. And let's, I like finishing with a spinal twist. So let's cross the left thigh over the right. Like, you know, you're sitting around having cocktails. Maybe you curl the toes, you take a double bind and bring the toes under the calf, but maybe you don't. That's up to you. And let's just roll onto the right hip. Let the knees fall over to the right, the chin fall to the left. If you don't like binding the legs this way, just go ahead and stack the left leg over the right. Or take whatever kind of twist you like, whatever feels good for you. Coming back up to center. You can unwind the legs. Bring the right leg over the left. Take that bind if you like. And then let the knees fall to the left. Chin falls to the right. You Breath in, bring the knees back up to center. You can unwind from this twist here now. And extend your feet down to the far corners of the mat. Take a minute here at the beginning of Savasana. Give your low back a little massage. This might be easier with the knees bent or with the knees straight. You get a bit of a different sensation. But imagine your back, your low back. I like to imagine the back of my pelvis is shaped sort of like an oval platter. And just begin to roll around the rim of that oval platter. So you can practice with knees bent or knees straight, legs extended. And just roll one way and then the other. Takes a little bit of core strength, core control in your core to make this happen. It's a nice thing to do to connect with your core at the beginning of the day. Especially in this way, reminding you that engaging your core when you're going about your day helps you to avoid fatigue in your low back. And then when you've had enough of that, you can just let it go. Let your hands rest next to your hips with the palms facing up. And take Savasana. Enjoy the stillness of Savasana for these first few moments. Notice how even when our body's still, the energy is circulating through our body. It's energy you have ready for this day ahead. When you're ready to begin moving again, first, as always, I'd like to encourage you to stay in Savasana for as long as you have time for. But if you are short on time, or it's time to get up, just begin by wiggling your fingers and toes. Turn your head from side to side. And just begin to draw movement into your body, making your way to a full body stretch. And then drawing your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. Rocking from one side to the other. And breathing easy. Coming to the fetal position and taking your time here before you come up to sit. When you do come up to sit, move at your own pace. Keep your head relaxed, your chin down. Keep yourself very relaxed, your eyes shut. Lengthen up through the spine, and then bring the crown of the head high. Let's inhale the fingertips up. As you exhale, draw the thumbs to the third eye and hinge forward. This is our final pose for today. Thank you for joining me. I love these morning practices. Namaste.